I'm Ashley Caprice, and you're now tuned in to another edition of Conversations with Caprice. And I have hip hop artist Bodega Man here with me. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. Fine.
You sure?
Yes, I am.
Glad to hear it. So you're here to talk about your latest album. It's dropping when, and what's the title of it?
It's dropping August 30th, which is my birthday.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
What is that? Virgo?
Virgo.
Perfectionist, yes. Or something like that?
Somewhat. Jazz album 2, Recession Deep in the Eyes of a Revolutionary. The title, I mean, for me, I'm still stuck in the recession. I think we all are stuck in the recession. We just kind of scoot it under the rug, or politicians trying to make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if you come to California, I mean, things are going really bad, so I really wanted to touch on the subjects and stuff like that, and kind of just put it out there in a revolutionary way.
So what exactly do you touch on in your album, your whole album? What are some of your main themes that you discuss?
I talk about a bunch about poverty, blue collar worker, people losing their jobs. Recession Babies, which is a song that I made, and Recession Babies is basically babies that are born in a recession and parents can't really afford them, so it's kind of they try to make ends meet, and so it's difficult. But I'm talking from my perspective. If I had a child, I'm gonna have to be selfish. I really want a kid, but I can't
at this moment.
At this moment, I can't, because I can't even afford myself.
Yeah, gotcha. So your album's dropping on August 30th. Why on your birthday? What's the significance?
Well, first of all, I mean, I am losing my job on August 30th.
Oh.
And then it's my birthday, and so I wanted to be happy. I just want to be happy, just because it's a difficult time for me.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of emotion, so I want people to be happy. And so just to give them my work and all the hard work that I put into this album, I want them to experience it. So it's a lot of emotion. The whole album has a lot of emotion in it, and you will see it through each song. It has a lot of depth in it, and it took me a while. So
yeah, so you're proud of it. That's your baby.
Yes, it's my baby.
So did you speak on that situation about you losing the job for your album?
I have a song called "Waiting on a Chance."
Okay.
And it's the hope anthem. That's what I'm calling it.
Okay.
And so when I had the beat, I didn't really want to mess with it because it was a really good beat.
Yeah.
And so it took me almost a year to even mess with it. So I wrote a couple lyrics, and I didn't like it. And I had writer's block, and I just left it alone. And then once I found out that I was losing my job, it hit me. And so I put everything into it, and that's it, the final product of it. And I hope that it inspires people to get up, and because I've hit rock bottom, and it's very difficult. And just to get yourself up, you need that hope. You have to have that hope just to keep you up to the next level.
Yeah, give us a few lines from the song. So what's the overall message in that song? Have hope.
Have hope. Do not give up. From doing your resumes, make sure you practice, and just believe in yourself. You gotta, if you're out there, you gotta sell yourself and make sure that you project a good aura when you come in, and be confident. I'm a human being, and sometimes I lose confidence within myself.
Yeah.
But I have people around me, that pick me up and say, we gotta do this. And so this song is for everybody. I wrote it because that's the way I was feeling, but I wrote it so everybody can feel it and they can relate to it, just because of the situation. And and there's a lot of people in California that are still losing jobs, unfortunately. But.
Yeah. So what's your favorite song on the album?
Oh, man.
And why?
That's difficult.
Because every song is like your baby, like, ooh, I wrote this. This is it.
I'm gonna say, for right now, I think it's Waiting on a Chance.
Okay.
Because all the other songs, I have a song called Milk Crate, and it's sitting on a milk crate, and you're with the older folks, and you're talking about how you can get a job or this and that, and just sitting in front of a liquor store. I mean, it's a good song. You just gotta hear people. It throws off people like, milk crate. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But you're sitting in front of the liquor on a milk crate, and you're talking about life. I mean, you're unemployed, talking about life, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But Waiting on a Chance is probably like one of my favorite joints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you hit me up on Twitter
Yes.
about a month or a few weeks ago, and you
Uh-huh.
said something like, you know, how do you feel about women? Do you feel like women are the new men? What was that about? You said it's inspiring you for an upcoming single.
I'm actually after this album, I'll probably release like a couple just single joints with other producers. And then I want to work on the Love Album 2 with the Love Album 2 Ugly Makeup. And yeah, I hit you up on it just because I wanted your intake on it as far as like women being the new wolves. Just because I've seen a lot of women that act like men and men.
How so? And men act like women.
And men act like women. And
How so? This is getting deep.
Just for the simple fact that men they're very sensitive sometimes, and they're very sensitive. And just to be honest, I've seen it.
So that's just a female thing that we're just sensitive, huh?
Well, males get.
I mean,
very sensitive
it's
too.
all good. It's all good.
And women have. I mean, just depending on what a particular woman has been through. Maybe they had a heartbroken, or maybe they have trust issues. So they put up a guard, and they're very selective, and maybe they put up a front like, okay, well, maybe we're cool, but
Yeah, kind of cold.
cool, just like a man would act towards like maybe he has like a woman and he's cold to like towards a couple of them. And so I've seen it a lot, and it's a subject that I really want to touch on. I mean, I got to get my facts straight before I even just throw out these lyrics. I don't want a bunch of people hating on me. So that's why I was asking you. I asked a couple more people on Twitter, a couple friends. And it started with a conversation I had with a friend of mine, and she was talking about like the dude that she was with. And he asked her the question, so what are we?
And that's so cute.
And so, I've heard it before. You know, a woman asked me like, so what are we? But I've never heard a dude say it.
Man asked a woman that.
And so I was like, wow, you know. So
And what was her reaction?
She was like, I don't know. Like
Like something a man would say?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And I was like, whoa. So it threw me off guard, and that inspired me to like just do some investigation and make sure my facts are right, and before I even throw anything out there. So I don't want to get like people hating on me or anything.
No one's gonna hate on you. People like talking about the whole male-female thing and whatnot. So, you know, I think it'll be a cool song.
Yeah.
We'll see how that turns out.
I think it turned out pretty good. I think once I have everything right, then we'll start marrying.
So what's in your CD player right now? What are you listening to?
Wow. I have a lot, actually. Been bumping the Roots.
Okay.
And Jose James, Brian McKnight, actually.
What?
Yeah.
How did you feel about his single? Did you hear about that? You heard about it. You just don't want to talk about it.
No, which one?
He had a single where it was kind of raunchy. Let me show you how that works.
Oh, no.
You never heard of
I've
that?
never heard of it. I have to do my homework now.
You don't have to. Google or YouTube that Brian McKnight song. It's a mess.
I will.
You don't have to, though, really. It's totally different. You might not expect it.
Wow. I wouldn't. No.
So you're bumping Brian McKnight? Okay.
I have a list. It's just a bunch of underground artists that, it's like this kid, Phony People. They're like youngster kids from like New York. And to me, they're like the new genre of the Roots, but they mix their R&B and all that. They're all, I don't know if they're in their teens.
They're kind of young, but
They're
they're
young.
dope.
They're dope.
Okay.
And their music is, when I heard it, I was like, wow.
Would you like to work with them? Who would you like to work with?
Wow.
Like
a bunch
everybody.
of people. Everybody is, if I had a chance, if I were to make it, I mean.
When you make it.
When I make it,
Okay.
maybe Mos Def. I like Nas. That's one of my.
You have his latest album?
Yeah.
That's dope, huh? But anyway.
No, it's a good album.
Okay.
He put a lot of himself.
I heard
in
it's
there.
very dope. I'm like, it's on my list to do. Purchase that album.
He doesn't throw Khalees under the bus.
Oh, good.
And so he mans up about his problem.
Okay.
Which, you know what, I admire, because in my album, the jazz album, I have a single part that's like the ride and love.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, it's a mixture of, poverty, losing my job, love life, and I mash it all together. So it's a combination of a bunch of things, so it's
That you're going through personally.
So I think that little section, that little portion, I think some people can relate to as well too.
Yeah, that's. I think those are the best artists, when you can put out music that people could relate to. That's how you get more, fan base.
Yeah, true.
Speaking of fans, where can they reach you?
You can go on my Twitter, Bodega Man 562,
Okay.
and then the album will be out on my Bandcamp, which is bodegaman.bandcamp.com, and then of course free. So we're gonna put it out, see how it does, and I might have some posters. My man Phil out on the East Coast is making some posters, so those should be dope. I'm waiting on those though.
Good. So, what do you want people to take away from your album?
I want people to take away that there's hope for everybody. I bring you I can bring you like the depth of the streets, the depth of blue collar workers, the depth of everything. But I want people to get from this album that even though we might be going through something hard, this recession, which is very difficult, we can still make it over.
So the jazz album too. Make sure you all cop that. Please. You got any shout outs?
Yes, I do. A hefty load.
Okay, tell people.
I want to give a big shout out to the Sound Weavers. It's a collective group. I worked with them a lot on this album, so you're gonna see a lot of their beats. It's a collective of 4 guys. It's Young Dub, Good Intentions, Jay Luma, and Home and Water. My man Troy K from Canada, Special Delivery from San Diego, Jim Beam Masek from Long Beach, my man E Pro Sounds from New York, and his whole crew. They're holding it down for me, so that's a blessing. So DJ Yara Flavor, Canary Islands, so my people out there in Europe.
Europe.
Let's see.
Must be nice.
I love them. I love my Euros. So
good.
My man Take Advance, and anybody that's holding me down, as far as like even the co-workers at work, big shout out to them for holding me up during these hard times, because we're all going through some issues. So
everyone's going through something,
yes.
But everyone could get through it too.
Yeah. So I give a shout out to the girls. Killer Yams, aka Camila. She pretty much dressed me up throughout my little underground career, as far as like my photo shoots and stuff like that.
Cool.
Talking about photos, my man Daniel Funaki, who's done extraordinary work for all the albums that I put out, and he's pretty big. And sorry if I kind of sped up the process on the photography, but I mean we had to get the album out. My man Phil. And DJ Underground, and anybody out there, if I missed you, please do not hate me.
Don't hate them.
Dude, don't hate me. And I love everybody who supported the whole movement.
Awesome. I support it too.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me, because this is I needed this. I need to get this album out. I want people to hear it.
Yeah, people should hear it. I'm happy, and they're gonna hear it.
Yes.
Conversations with Caprice. Bodega Man, make sure you keep in touch with him. Twitter at Bodega Man 562, and make sure you cop that album August 30th, that jazz album too.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.